Everything I've done. Everywhere I go. It's for the One Piece.
What is that?
Welcome back, everyone. Big surprise, Netflix dropped a brand new One Piece Season 2 trailer, so we'll break it all down. There's a bunch of Easter eggs here. I think there's a pretty clear idea of where they're going through the season. It sounds like they're going to end things with the Drum Island arc. And even though there's a lot of stuff that they don't show during this trailer, it does seem like it's pretty clear that they're hitting all the big places through all the major arcs on the way to the Drum Island arc. The reason why they're dropping the trailer now is because it's One Piece Day in Japan, so it was just in celebration of that. Was not expecting them to actually drop this much footage though. I literally just got done with a 10-mile run, then checked my phone and was like, boom, One Piece trailer. Even though I wasn't expecting a trailer, this actually gives me an excuse to wear my One Piece Cafe shirt, which I literally just got, like they just opened a One Piece Cafe in Los Angeles. Just covering all the real big stuff during the trailer. So at the beginning here, they start at Reverse Mountain. This is the entrance to Reverse Mountain. The whole reason why Reverse Mountain is such a big deal is because it is literally the entrance to the Grand Line. And basically, that's kind of where One Piece starts. Even though there's a lot of stuff that happens before that, Logtown, obviously a big deal. The whole idea is that Luffy wants to search the Grand Line for the One Piece. So he has to actually make it to the Grand Line before he can do that. We finally see some footage inside Logtown. Seems like they're going to spend at least a couple episodes there just because they built out the sets in a really big way. Like a lot of the behind the scenes early on, all those early trailers were of them building out Logtown. All this footage of them traveling through the heavy foliage in the jungle seems like it's from Little Garden. We see them travel to Cactus Island from the Whiskey Peak arc. Whiskey Peak is like the first arc after they actually hit the Grand Line.
What is that?
This seems like the town of assassins where they start to meet Princess Vivi and run into Baroque Works. This gets into Mr. Zero and their big plan for the Alabasta Kingdom and how they're trying to steal the grand ancient weapon. The whole idea that Mr. Zero, Crocodile, is trying to destabilize and conquer the Alabasta Kingdom, Princess Vivi's kingdom, so that he can steal and acquire the ancient superweapon Pluton. You remember they actually teased Joe Manganiello is playing Mr. Zero, so we will see what they do with him during Season 2. We probably won't see a ton of him until Season 3. All the voiceover from Luffy at the beginning of the trailer here is just him reminding you of his whole mission statement. I'm here for the One Piece. That's all I care about. Finding the One Piece. Adventure. Freedom. Really notable scene here too, when Luffy tips his cap looking in Logtown here at this giant construction. This is actually the place where Goldie Roger was executed, so it's infamous for him. Like he's basically tipping his cap to Goldie Roger as he's reciting his mission statement, I want to find Goldie Roger's One Piece, his treasure. There's a whole lot to unpack in the Logtown arc. Like there's the whole concept of the Ace character. Are they going to do Ace? Because they have not talked about him in any of the teasers that they've had before this. When Nami feels the boat shaking, this is probably right before they actually meet the giants at Little Garden. It's Buggy that actually shows up later in the trailer. Dory is the other big giant. This is our first look at Nico Robin, aka Miss All Sunday, as they first meet her. We get our first look at Captain Smoker, who becomes a recurring villain to them, antagonist to them throughout the rest of the series. Right at the beginning, though, he's mostly just a villain for them while they're at Logtown, but he does come back later in the story. Logtown is a really important place in the One Piece universe for a lot of reasons. Like, Logtown was featured in the first episode of the series. Practically, it's also really important because it's the last stop on the way to the Grand Line before Reverse Mountain, so any ship wanting to travel to the Grand Line has to pass through Logtown. Captain Smoker is the marine leader of this area. He sees his wanted poster wanting to take Luffy down just because their whole thing is arresting pirates. Smoker also has devil fruit powers. His powers allow him to create, control, and transform any part of his body into smoke. If you're a fan of Avatar The Last Airbender, and Netflix is doing a live-action Avatar The Last Airbender series, like I just did a trailer video for it, Smoker's powers would be kind of like airbending, but just for smoke. That's why he's always smoking so much. Like, why would you smoke 2 cigars unless that was part of some base power set that you had? How fast do you want to give yourself cancer? All this footage of them running through the heavy foliage again seems like more Little Garden. We get our first look at Princess Vivi, who's infiltrated Baroque Works and is trying to save her kingdom, as they learn later. Then we actually see what looks like them fighting Buggy's returned crew and the much, much slimmer Alvida. All because since she's allied with Buggy to get revenge on them, she's taken the slip devil fruit, which has made her way, way thinner. I'm assuming this will be just like the manga and the anime, and they wind up encountering them back at Loguetown. When they flash the text, "A grand adventure awaits," is a reference to the Grand Line because you actually see them traveling to the Grand Line through Reverse Mountain right after this. Like they're literally traveling up the mountain. And also traveling down the other side of the mountain right into Laboon's mouth. There are a lot of people that were wondering whether or not they were going to swerve on the whale or they were going to do it because he is important for Brooks' story much, much later on. Like there are important things that happen with him way later in the story. Then they flash the title One Piece into the Grand Line because that's literally what they're doing at the end of the trailer here, traveling into the Grand Line through the rest of the show. And it confirms that they have renewed the show for Season 3. When it says set sail soon, it just means they're going to be filming Season 3 very soon.
My name is Tony Chopper, and I'm sorry I can't be there in person, but... Oh, I'm supposed to tell you about One Piece Season 2.
We'll probably see more of the Drum Island arc in that next big trailer. They already released the big Chopper trailer just to show off the character. So they're really just trying to make Chopper feel like more of an actual character, even though very clearly a CG creation during this clip. Most of you longtime fans of the series can also see the way they seeded in a lot of explainers for the character in the season in a sly way for casual audiences, like Chopper is a doctor, like, oh, I am the doctor, and they just show you a bit of the comedy of the character, the way he's going to behave in scenes with the other characters. He winds up becoming the next big member of the crew and is the crew's doctor. He hypes up more of the villains, more Baroque Works like Mr. Zero. Oda also revealed that the season will only adapt Loguetown to Drum Island, so they're only adapting part of the arc for Season 2, and it seems like they're letting them adapt way more of the story so they don't have to speedrun the entire thing in a single season. Meaning that some of the new characters will only be teased briefly, like Mr. Zero, Nico Robin, and become much bigger parts of the story as they continue the Alabasta Arc into Season 3 and make it to the Alabasta Kingdom. So they'll probably end the season with them defeating Wapol, recruiting Chopper to their crew officially, and then learning Gold D. Rogers' actual name. What they'll also probably do, and they did this at the end of Season 1, is they'll rearrange and add some more teasers for the next arc at the end of the episode, the end of the finale. So even though at the end of Drum Island, there's not like a whole lot of Baroque Works stuff going on during that, they'll probably add that in for the Season 2 finale, teasing Mr. Zero, teasing more Nico Robin stuff, and teasing them actually going to the Alabasta Kingdom. There are a couple really big actors that you can see here. They got like David Dastmalchian as Mr. 3, Clive Russell from Game of Thrones as Crocus. We'll see him at the beginning of the season. Callum Cares, there's Smoker. I've never actually seen any of his other stuff, but it should be pretty interesting to see the way they adapt that because Loguetown sounds like it's going to be a big part of the season. Previously, they've said that they're going to do the entire run of all the manga, or they intend to. We will see what that ends up looking like because that is a big, big commitment. Netflix does not have a history of actually doing that much of a single show. Usually they get canceled after like 5-6 seasons tops. My assumption is they will try to do at least like 5 to 7 seasons, and by the time we get to like those later seasons, they might just start speed running stuff even faster to get through all the manga.
Oh, hi. My name is Jeff Ward.
But everyone, post all your reactions to this brand new footage and let me know how you want them to handle the later manga if they do try to adapt everything, or do you think they're just going to stop much, much earlier in the manga and just call it a day? Just based on the way that Netflix paces things out, or they pace Season 1 out, there are a couple of places where they could actually end it early if they wanted to. If you spotted any other Easter eggs or references that I didn't talk about during this trailer, just write them below in the comments, and I'll do more videos when they release more trailers later this year. It's not going to be releasing till 2026, as the trailer says. We will see when they drop that next footage. They tend to drop footage anytime there's a big One Piece related celebration. The other big reminder too, in related news, they're releasing Avatar The Last Airbender Season 2. They're going to be introducing Toph because they're basically adapting Book 2. I've already done a much bigger video for that trailer. Click here for that, and click here for all my other brand new Spider-Man Brand New Day videos because of all that footage from the set. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.